Arrow of the Damned, the curse that haunts the card. Arrow of the Damned, the curse that haunts the cards. All right, you're listening to, well, I just said it twice. Arrow of the Damned, the curse that haunts the cards. And this is the preview of the book that I'm about to publish as an unofficial companion to a movie called Tarot, in which what I can gather so far from the few previews, or maybe one preview that I've seen like 3 times, I don't recall, but they seem like they might be the same one, that I'm just basically guessing what is going on with this movie. And since I've already had a lot of information about tarot, I'm specifically using them since at least 2013 with Ariana Osborne's Demon Tarot. But I think that was just the first official one that I bought, but I've been working with them before, having had my gone to different folks to read my tarot and all that other good stuff. So, but this is the read through of this Tarot of the Damned. The Curse That Haunts the Cards is the unofficial working title that may go out. I have several different names lined up. And hello, welcome back, Clarity Concierge. How do you do? So let's see. I think that there are. I think I saw Daryl with the dashes go on right now, but I'm going to proceed regardless because I don't have much time to get this done before I have some other things I need to do. So let me see. Daryl. Yep. Episode 34, new McClock. I'm here with the dash in here. Right now. Dash means holding space between each letter, means holding space for you if you want to come up here and be part of the conversation. Love to have you up here. And I'll hold space for you if you want your space held. Yeah, and I hear him. You know, that's the whole thing is I look at like street parking, right? Is the parking space a monopoly that gets you away from actually landing on something that costs you money? You know, you go around the board and so we can hear Daryl. You know, being that. But I'm going to continue with my book preview and proceed with this read through. Okay. And if anybody's familiar with the tarot, welcome back, Wandering Fool. Hello, June E. You can listen to how accurate I am with these descriptions. Remember, I do my best to keep them basic. I never really wanted to do this, but someone recommended that I cannot write a book to make it anywhere near popular or to intrigue people's curiosity if I write in the way that I normally communicate, because it would be too intimidating to them. So this book and the other ones that I've written on demonology have really been simplified, to use a gentle term, more than the one that people would commonly use, which is, what do they say, dumbed down? I don't think that's what I've done. I've simplified it. All right. So this is the working title so far before I finalize it. Tarot of the Damned, the Curse That Haunts the Cards. And chapter 1 is probably the closest thing to most history of anything that you'll see. And it's called The Origin of the Tarot Curse, right? It's chapter 1. But then the first subchapter is called The History of Tarot Cards. It's very short. So it reads thusly. The history of tarot cards is a fascinating and mysterious one that dates back hundreds of years. The origins of tarot cards can be traced back to the 15th century in Europe, where they were first used as playing cards. However, it wasn't until the 18th century that tarot cards began to be used for divination and spiritual purposes. The traditional tarot deck consists of 78 cards divided into two main categories, the major arcana and minor arcana. The major arcana consist of 22 cards that represent major life events and spiritual lessons, while the minor arcana consists of 56 cards that represent everyday events and challenges. Many believe that tarot cards hold a powerful and mystical energy that can reveal hidden truths and insights about the past, present, and future. However, there is also a darker side to tarot cards that some believe can bring about curses and negative energy. Throughout history, there have been numerous reports of individuals experiencing misfortune and tragedy after using tarot cards. Some believe that these cursed tarot cards are haunted by malevolent spirits or forces that seek to cause harm to those who use them. As occult researchers delve deeper into the history of tarot cards, they must tread carefully and respect the power that these cards hold. It is important to approach the study of tarot cards with caution and reverence, as they have the potential to both enlighten and curse those who seek their wisdom. All right, so there's the first little subchapter right there. Again, leading into being a companion for those people who might want to look at that movie. Looks like a movie that is geared towards young adults. All right. So the next one, as Wandering Fool joins me again here, the next is called The Legend of the Cursed Tarot Deck. So how do you do once again? Welcome back.
I am doing well, and the introduction has got me. That's it. I'm hooked. I gotta hear the rest.
All right. So how's Daryl over there doing with his holding space?
Absolutely great. I popped in there for about 3 minutes. I love these short timers because it's like, hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah. I
And then I
normally
can,
wouldn't hold a talk at the same time as he does, and I would go up and speak with him and lend my voice to his, but I'm on a time limit. So
you on a roll
I've got
here.
to get, what's that?
You on a roll here.
Yeah, I got to get this done. And yeah, and I'm on a roll. It's the momentum. Okay, so the second subchapter is called The Legend of the Cursed Tarot Deck. All right, so here we go. In the world of occult research, there are many mysterious and intriguing tales surrounding the origins of tarot cards. One such legend that has captured the imagination of many is that of the Cursed Tarot Deck. This deck is said to hold a dark and powerful curse that haunts those who dare to use it. According to ancient lore, the Cursed Tarot deck was created by a powerful sorcerer who sought to harness the mystical energies of the cards for his own nefarious purposes. The sorcerer imbued the deck with dark magic, cursing it so that anyone who drew a card from it would be plagued by misfortune and tragedy. So this part plays into the book a little bit because in from the previews I didn't see anything specifically, of course, because there would be too many spoilers in the preview of the movie of why exactly using someone else's tarot deck. So who's someone else's tarot deck, right? They didn't. You don't get that from the preview. So I'm alluding to that here, right?
Hmm.
Um, it was a powerful sorcerer. Continuing, as the legend goes. Oh, did you have some input on that?
It draws on the knowledge I have about protection spells and how
Mm.
they've come in the mainstream media and how the so-called curses are purely psychological. But you're alluding to it perfectly because it's coming into its own right. Can continue.
All right, here we go. This is still the second subchapter, the legend of the cursed tarot deck. So as the legend goes, those who have come into possession of the cursed tarot deck have experienced a series of unfortunate events, ranging from financial ruin to physical harm. Some even claim that the curse is so potent that it can drive individuals to madness or even death. Despite the dangers associated with the cursed tarot deck, there are some occult researchers who are drawn to its dark allure. They seek to unravel the mysteries surrounding the curse and unlock the secrets of its power. However, delving into the world of the cursed tarot deck is not for the faint of heart, as it is said to possess a malevolent energy that can consume those who come too close. As we continue to explore the realms of the haunted of haunted tarot cards and the curses that accompany them, it is important to approach these subjects with caution and respect. The legend of the cursed tarot deck also serves as a stark reminder of the potent forces that can be unleashed when dabbling in the supernatural. May we tread carefully as we seek to uncover the truths hidden within the shadows of the cards.
Now that's good dry humor there. Like, ooh, the shadow of the cards.
And that was, why I was looking at some of the other titles, The Shadow of the Tarot and all that other stuff like that. But a lot of those the titles that I had in mind come from the text that I've written for this. So this is the third and final subchapter. Remember, each subchapter in the book, or each chapter in the book, is broken down into 3 subchapters. Again, I'm following a lot of formatting and pre-formatting to help me to write as quickly as possible from the various different notebooks and online notebooks, which is what I really use the internet for, my website for, is just me taking notes of stuff to organize it and to get it out as quickly as possible. Because I have 18 years of writing and posting online on my websites. The first of those being, of course, hypnoathletics.com, or actually eym.hypnoathletics.com, which the EYM stands for Exercising Your Mind. And then, of course, the second longest running website I have for 17 years is exercisingyourmind.com. So, but those, all of the things I've been exploring are either on those websites or in my physical notebooks that I have with me all the time. My obsession, my addiction. Okay, so this is the third subchapter called How the Curse Manifests. Are you ready for that one?
Bingo, let's go.
All right. How the Curse Manifests. In the world of occult research, the concept of curses is a fascinating and often misunderstood phenomenon. One particularly intriguing area of study is the manifestation of curses through haunted tarot cards. These cards have a long history of bringing misfortune and strife to those who dare to use them, and understanding how the curse manifests is crucial for those who wish to delve into the dark world of the tarot. The first way in which the curse of the haunted tarot cards manifest is through a series of unexplainable and unsettling events that seem to follow the user wherever they go. These events can range from strange noises in the night to inexplicable feelings of dread and unease. Many who have fallen victim to the curse report feeling as though they are being watched or followed by an unseen presence, leading to a deep sense of paranoia and fear. Another common manifestation of the curse is through a series of vivid and disturbing nightmares that plague the user's sleep. These nightmares often feature dark and twisted imagery with themes of death, destruction, and despair. The dreams can be so intense and realistic that the user wakes in a cold sweat, unable to shake the feeling of dread that lingers long after they have opened their eyes. One particularly insidious way in which the curse of the haunted tarot cards manifests is through a string of seemingly unrelated accidents and misfortunes that befall the user. From minor mishaps like tripping and falling to more serious incidents such as car accidents or sudden illness, those under the curse often find themselves facing a seemingly endless string of bad luck that only seems to worsen with time. Ultimately, the curse of the haunted tarot cards is a powerful and malevolent force that can wreak havoc on the lives of those who come into contact with it. Understanding how the curse manifests is key to protecting oneself from its influence and avoiding the potentially devastating consequences that can result from using these cursed cards. By studying the ways in which the curse manifests, occult researchers can gain valuable insights into the nature of curses and how they can be broken or avoided altogether.
Mm,
So that's chapter 1. See,
that's
nice and short.
but it's so concise and to the point, and you're not dumbing it down. You're not making it a watered down version of the actual story. It's fully developed as an idea, and it comes with this knowing that more is to come into the chapters. That's a really good intro.
Well, thank you. All right. So let's move on now to chapter 2. The effects of the curse upon users. And welcome again, Dewey, Megan Bostick, Heather LeVar, author Dwight Thompson, June E, Clarity Concierge, and of course, Wandering Fool, who's here on deck, ha ha ha, like the pun, with me right now. All right, so Tarot deck, the effects of the curse on users. First subsection or subchapter is psychological effect of using cursed tarot cards. And I've gotten used to the idea of subchapters because in using the software that I'm using and helping me to create outlines and everything like that, they often break it down into subchapters. And I never really thought about sometimes things that when you start doing something, you start realizing that that's what certain things are called. I thought I should know better, but those little, you have a chapter and then you have like the different titles within them. They're called subchapters. What a simple thing to get used to, that you see it all the time, but you don't really, um, explore too deeply. So, oh, and before I continue, welcome Tammy Hughes to the room. All right. So the next is chapter 2, effects of the curse on users. Again, we're going through, this is another preview of another book that I'm going to publish. This will not be in UniquilibriuM's demonology series. This is going to be a separate one, but it's related, although I don't know. It could be. We'll see. Although I don't really write anything much about demons in this book. But if you want to look at some of the other books I have, you can find them by going through worldreadingclub.com, and it'll give you a portal into Amazon where you can find all of my books there as ebooks that you can get on the Kindle and other ebook readers that you have, like the Nook from Barnes& and Noble, and a few of them are also on paperback if you want to get a physical copy of it. All right. And there's very minimal images on them. They're usually just black and white, all text, which is the simplest for me. But I'm starting to figure out this publishing a little bit better. So the psychological effects of using cursed tarot cards is the first subchapter in chapter 2. Tarot cards have long been used as a tool for divination and spiritual guidance. However, in recent years, there have been reports of certain tarot decks being cursed. These cursed tarot cards are said to have a negative impact on those who use them, causing psychological distress and even physical harm. In this subchapter we will explore the psychological effects of using cursed tarot cards, shedding light on the dangers that may arise from dabbling in the occult. One of the most common psychological effects reported by those who have used cursed tarot cards is an overwhelming sense of dread and unease. Many users have described feeling as though they are being watched or followed by a malevolent presence after using these cards. This constant feeling of fear can lead to anxiety, paranoia, and even panic attacks in some cases. It is essential for occult researchers to be aware of these potential risks when working with cursed tarot decks. I want to make a pause here, one, because 4 more people just joined the room, but 2, because if anybody here has watched any horror movies, you will see that what I have written here is taken directly out of the playbook of horror movies. And it's because I've watched so many of them and so many thrillers and horror movies and sci-fi and fantasy in general that this is really a common theme of how they go along. So this is nothing new under the sun except just how I packaged it here, which is why I feel like it's going to be such a really good, strong companion for people who are going to be fans of the movie, or any movies like this, because this is basically the playbook of like how all of that stuff happens with any cursed objects of any kind. Whether it be Annabelle, that doll, or any stuff like that, you'll get these same things here. So welcome, Lois Hampson, Dwight Thompson's here, Alexander Campbell, Vivian Carr, welcome to the room, and everyone else I said hello earlier. But, oh gosh, and number 12, hello, Cody Coyle is back, hello. All right, so continuing with the first subchapter, psychological effects of using the tarot card. So um, one of the most common psychological effects of, reported by those who have used cursed tarot cards. You could actually have used cursed blank whatever in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could cursed rabbit's foot, right? Is an overwhelming sense of dread and unease. It could be a cursed book or anything, but this is like these are the standards, which by the way, I'm going to put a whole standard thing of all supernatural events. There's a whole thing that goes along with aliens, angels, demons, gods, and all that are all the same. I've talked about it several times before, but I'm going to put those together in one of these things as well, because I'm starting to find that all of them can fit into a specific paradigm, which actually is quite limited, believe it or not. We think that their powers are so extreme and unwieldy and not able to be understood, but they're actually pretty elementary, my dear. All right, so
Elementary, my dear Watson. Yes, the way that they work, they have a system and a laws. They still adhere to universal laws. So
yeah,
if you know
exactly.
that sequence, you can get it done in a way that causes no harm to you and allows them to continue on with their mission. Just send them on
Yeah,
about the way.
I'll give everybody a hint here. If anybody's familiar with your own dreams or anything about dreams at all, they actually are limited to what dreams are limited to. So just think about that. Anything that you can do in a dream, these are all the powers that gods and goddesses, angels, demons, and aliens have. And anything that you can conceive of in there, these are the things that they do. So, but before I get off on that tangent, because I get very excited about that, I'm going to continue with the tarot deck. Okay, so one of the common psychological effects reported by those who have used cursed tarot cards is an overwhelming sense of dread and unease. Many users have described feeling as though they are being watched or followed by a malevolent presence after using these cards. And this constant feeling of fear can lead to anxiety, paranoia, and even panic attacks in some cases. It is essential for occult research to be aware of these potential risks when working with cursed tarot decks. Hey, if y'all know that a tarot deck is cursed or claimed to be cursed, why would you work with it anyway? But some do. Another psychological effect of using cursed tarot cards is a heightened sense of negativity and despair. Users may find themselves experiencing feelings of hopelessness, sadness, and depression after using these cards. This can be particularly dangerous for individuals who are already vulnerable to mental health issues. It is crucial for occult researchers to approach cursed tarot decks with caution and to seek support if they begin to experience negative psychological effects. In addition, in addition to feelings of dread and negativity, using cursed tarot cards can also lead to a loss of control over one's thoughts and emotions. Some users have reported experiencing intrusive thoughts, nightmares, and irrational fears after using these cards. This loss of control can be particularly distressing for individuals who value their mental health and emotional stability. Occult researchers must be mindful of the potential impact that cursed tarot cards can have on their psychological well-being. Overall, the psychological effects of using cursed tarot cards can be profound and long-lasting. It is essential for occult researchers to approach these decks with caution and to take steps to protect their mental and emotional well-being. By being aware of the potential risks associated with cursed tarot cards, researchers can better navigate the world of the occult and protect themselves from harm. Remember, knowledge is power, and understanding the psychological effects of cursed tarot cards is essential for those who wish to delve into the mysteries of the supernatural. All right, so that is the first subchapter of chapter 2, the effects of the curse on users.
That's the way that that's put. It gives factual knowledge to what's going on in the scenario and what can happen. And I love the fact that you mentioned people that are have experiencing mental health symptoms already, because a lot of times people, when they're going through mental health struggles, they consult the occult because they're
Hmm.
pretty much at their wits' end. But in that explanation, you're given this just general good facts to know in the moment before you start to do this research. So that's very important. That was the warning I was talking about.
Yeah. Um, and I put a lot of that stuff in what I'm writing lately because it's become very important because in writing this a lot, because I know of people who have been very close to people who have been dealing with mental health issues, and it's definitely something that people. who are dealing with those things tend to a lot of times be a little bit more hyper suggestible than others. So that's why those things have to be put in now. I'm attempting to be a responsible supervillain. Okay, so continue. So physical
Responsible
symptoms.
supervillain.
What's that?
A responsible supervillain. You know
Yes.
what? I, I love the fact that you still have this supervillain claim, but you're more like Magneto.
Hey, Magneto. You know, he wasn't evil.
He wasn't. He was not. He just had a very hard scenario go on in life that when I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I see what you're getting at. I'm not saying you're right, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I definitely see where you're going with it.
Hey, look. First of all, they shouldn't have killed his mother,
Right?
and whatever forces in this world, whether it be me or others, because I take full responsibility for all of my experiences, whatever it is, shouldn't have killed my wife. So I'm on a supervillain kick in a similar way as Magneto. I'm expressing my pain, whether it be self-inflicted or not, in in a somewhat creative, well, definitely in a creative way. But I'm also, I still hold on to that. There's got to be something to blame, and so that's where supervillainy comes from, right? The origin stories of supervillains is they're just pissed off at something, at some
Yeah.
perceived wrong done against them, and so they lash out. All right. So physical symptoms experienced by users. Physical symptoms experienced by users of haunted tarot cards can vary widely, but they often manifest in ways that are both unsettling and difficult to ignore. One common symptom reported by users is a feeling of intense fatigue or weakness after using the cards. This can be accompanied by headache, dizziness, and overall feelings of malaise. These physical symptoms may indicate that the energy being channeled through the cards is draining the user's own energy, leaving them feeling depleted and unwell. In addition to feelings of fatigue, users of haunted tarot cards may also experience physical sensations such as tingling, numbness, or even pain in their hands or fingers while handling the cards. These sensations are often described as being cold or prickly and can be quite uncomfortable for the user. Some users have reported feeling as though they are being physically touched or manipulated by unseen forces while using the cards, leading to feelings of unease and fear. Another physical symptom that users of haunted tarot cards may experience is a sudden and unexplained increase in heart rate or blood pressure. This can manifest as a feeling of palpitations or a sensation of tightness in the chest. In some cases, users have reported feeling as though their heart is racing or pounding in their chest, even when they are at rest. These symptoms can be alarming and may indicate that the energy being channeled through the cards is having a direct impact on the user's cardiovascular system. Users of haunted tarot cards may also experience digestive issues such as stomach pain, nausea, or diarrhea after using the cards. These symptoms can be particularly distressing as they can interfere with the user's ability to focus or concentrate on their readings. Some users have reported feeling as though their stomach is in knots or as though they have a sense of impending doom or dread after using the cards. These physical symptoms may be a sign that the user's body is reacting negatively to the energy being channeled through the cards, or you drank too much coffee.
Mm.
It is important it is important for the users of haunted tarot cards to pay attention to physical symptoms they may be experiencing while using the cards, as these symptoms can be a sign that the energy being channeled through the cards is having a negative impact on their physical well-being. If you are experiencing any of the physical symptoms mentioned above, it may be wise to take a break from using the cards and consult with a medical professional to rule out any underlying health issues. Remember, your health and well-being should always be your top priority, even when exploring the mysteries of the occult.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Because you explain the symptoms and everything and how they run through the body, but you also put in there the caveat that we need to look at the physical body itself. Because as a person who has chronically low blood pressure and low blood sugar, not diabetic, but I let my sugar bottom out, it really comes into play if I'm going into a reading. I have to make sure I drink enough water. And one of the things that people like to say is when you're channeling the spirit, water is your
Are you
conduit.
looking for power? Yes. Hold on for 1 second. My cafe neighbor here needs to plug up, and I might change seats with her. There's right here, so we can change. Yeah. But you're gonna have to. Okay. But you're gonna continue to hear me babbling about cursed tarot cards. I have a lot of things to do. Okay. Okay. All right. But I'm just gonna move just right over here. All right. Let me just swap. Because my computer's still powered up over here, so I do not yet need power.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
What was I saying? So the water is the conduit.
trip if I try to plug in next to you in a little bit. All right.
I
So.
came back
Just up again once I'm charged. All right.
talking about a super villain.
Were you looking at these? Yes. These are cool. A hyper local guide to the flora, fauna, and fantasy of the most far out state in America,
Ooh.
Florida. Hey, that's where we are right now. Uh,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
gonna give y'all a side note as the audience. Hakeem thinks he's a super villain, but y'all see how nice he is.
Well, how else do you be a supervillain if you don't tend to be nice? That's
Oh,
that's how you lure them in, you know?
you're a mighty good pretender.
Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. All right. You know what? You get the gym brother? Okay. What kind of computer is it? The Mac. And
Yeah,
are those a
but
C-type charger? Okay, so let me see. I might have no, no. I always carry this thing with all of the components in here. So I have. Okay, so this one would go into the wall, and then I think I have the block here too. Yeah, look at that. I have a
what
super
super
block right
villain?
here. Look at that.
What super
So,
villain you know pretend to be this nice?
are there charging ports on the other side too? Yes. Okay, good. Because this is really short. So let me see if I can find a longer one. Oh, look at that.
Right, Claire the concierge. What super
So,
villain pretend?
let me see
He's
which one's longer.
he's not nice. He's
Oh, maybe
kind and
maybe
courteous.
thing's a
I
little
think that's
different.
the
So,
biggest difference.
to
He
the
has a
wall, and then
kindness
that
to his
should.
life. It's a wildly different version that he sees versus what we see. Because
All right.
he's so kind.
Okay, folks, we're back in the running. All right. Okay, so thank you for holding the space for me, Wandering Fool. Let's give everybody a round of applause for her over here. Um, and
We were just sitting up here talking about how you think you're pretending to be a supervillain, but
got it.
you're
Hey,
not. You're kind.
whatever.
Yeah, ha 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 ha.
All
That's the
right.
hill
So
I'm staying up there.
now let's get into case studies of those affected by the curse. And by
Mm,
the way, folks, I used affected in the correct sense because some people use an E, but this is affect. It's different. Let's look them up.
mm.
Okay, so these are case studies of those affected by the curse. In this subchapter, we will delve into case studies of individuals who have been affected by the curse that haunts the tarot cards. These case studies provide valuable insights into the potential dangers of using these cards without proper knowledge or precautions. By examining these real-life examples, we can better understand the impact of the curse and how it can manifest in different ways for different individuals. One such case study involves a young woman who began using the tarot cards as a form of self-discovery and guidance. Initially, she found the cards to be helpful in providing insight into her life and relationships. However, as she continued to, oh, you know what? Let me stop here for 1 second. I have to rant about something that we, you know, wonderful. You you touched on, how I put in there about, if there's physical symptoms, consult with a medical professional, right, to rule out any underlying health issues. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to comment further on that because I also see medicine as being another form of magic that may not be occult in the sense of the word that occult means hidden, right? But it's also important to understand that medicine as an overt form of magic, if we look at it that way, can actually counteract what people might consider to be spiritual, metaphysical, or supernatural curses. So a lot of people don't
Bingo.
realize that
Bingo.
because
Because
there's also dark magic in medicine in the adverse events that happen with them too.
yes, but science itself is magic being explained by knowledge, by
Yeah,
research.
yeah, right. It's all the same thing. There's really not a difference. But I just wanted to back up on that really quickly.
So we
So
got, or
yeah,
medicine would be alchemy.
yes, it's an alchemy. I mean, even alchemy is the predecessor to the word chemistry, and they come from one of the words for ancient Egypt, which is kemet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The land of the darks, the black soil.
yeah. So um, so let us continue now with the Tower of the Damned, the curse that haunts the cars. This is the second uh, subchapter. Sorry, the third subchapter in this book, which is case studies those affected by the curse. And again, this I hope I'm going to get this out as soon as possible as a going to be a companion to those people who may be interested in that movie that's coming out called Tarot, in which this is one of the things that's happening in that movie. Okay, so one such case study involved a young woman who began using the tarot cards as a form of self-discovery and guidance. Initially, she found the cards to be helpful in providing insight into her life and relationships. However, as she continued to use them, she began to experience a series of unfortunate events.
Not the series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, that's funny to me. See, my dry and questionable sense of humor, because wasn't there a movie that used that exact same thing, right?
It
And
was
isn't
a
that such
book
a cliche
series I
term,
used
a
to read.
series of unfortunate events, right?
Yeah, I used to read the book series. It was every book was sad. Like everyone, like it's just something random would happen, and they're like, that is very unfortunate. And then it was
Right.
just a series of just these unfortunate events just going on. I was like, what?
Yes, that's right. Clarity Concierge, Lemony Snicket,
Let Yep.
a series of unfortunate events. So
Not a
again,
bit of humor. Yeah, throw that one in.
I I find that funny. I don't know if many people will read that and think it's funny, but I do.
Well, you're hitting your
So
target because I'm giggling.
yeah. So that's that line there. Okay, so however, as she continued to use them, she began to experience a series of unfortunate events that seemed to be linked to the cards. She reported feeling a sense of dread and unease whenever she used them, and eventually she sought help from a spiritual advisor to remove the curse that had attached itself to her. Another case study involves a man who inherited a set of tarot cards from a deceased relative. He
Mm.
began using the cards out of curiosity, but soon noticed a pattern of negative outcomes whenever he consulted them. He experienced financial setbacks, health issues, and relationship problems that he believed were directly linked to the cursed cards. Despite his efforts to cleanse them, the curse persisted, leading him to eventually dispose of the cards in order to break free from its influence. These case studies highlight the importance of approaching the tarot cards with caution and respect. While they can be powerful tools for self-reflection and guidance, they also have the potential to attract negative energies and curses if used improperly. It is essential for occult researchers and practitioners to educate themselves on the potential risks associated with using these cards and to take appropriate measures to protect themselves from harm. By studying these case studies and learning from the experiences of those who have been affected by the curse of the tarot cards, we can gain a deeper understanding of the dangers that exist within the world of occult practices. It is crucial for individuals who approach these tools with mindfulness in order to avoid falling victim to the dark forces that may be lurking within the cards. Through education and caution, we can navigate the world of the tarot with greater clarity and protection.
Beautiful. And I know I said
So,
that, but that's just how well written it is. It gives the full synopsis of what can happen in certain cases where people adopt these cards. And I know that a book on tarot, but it's making me think about explanations for a lot of these events, like the tingling of hands and feet. A lot of people don't realize when they pick up tarot cards and they start to read and they feel the sensation that they're still in control. You still have, they can only do what dreams are, or they can only do what is done in the intangible. So if you know that you are real and you're grounded into the physical body and you are here, you can tell them where they should and shouldn't go, or what they can and cannot, because all they can do is talk and maybe do a body sensation. But usually, what I've noticed is those body sensations and those headaches, or the tingling or the numbness, was an issue that I actually had to go see a doctor about. I ended up going to a chiropractor because of the numbness in my hands and feet. And I had a spinal cord injury. So they're not malevolent. They're trying to warn you of something that's actually in the body.
yeah, again, that goes along with the fact that medicine is magic and can actually help a person to remove curses by going to medical practitioners if they're feeling symptoms. But this is one of the things too. One part of my thesis is that, you know, even if a person feels like they're cursed, or they even are experiencing like demonic possession, um, or like a poltergeist or anything like that, by actually going to mental health practitioners and medical doctors, they can actually overcome what people think is only in the realm of the supernatural, metaphysical, and paranormal, because they're not separate. They're
Yep.
interconnected. And the sooner a lot of people realize that, the sooner they'll realize that there's really not that big, like a remedy is a remedy. If you do something that's going to fix it, especially something that's well established through medicine and psychological research, um, a cure is a cure.
And you know what? A lot of modern medicine is based off of astrological principles. You remember we did the body map where me and Hakeem did an experiment on a different app where I was testing astrological knowledge without actually knowing anything about the people. So these people were from overseas. The whole group was from overseas. I'm from America. And I went in thinking that I would get 0% right. But one of the key things that I could use to guess, each astrological sign has a part of the body that is connected to from head to toe. So in this experiment, I expected to get 0% right. I got 60% right. So knowing that a lot of modern medicine is based off ancient principles, now there was a hijack in the middle where they decided that the old ways weren't good enough and they had to modernize. And that's that dark magic creeping in, creating its own realm where sickness is the prophet. But the way it used to be was they would heal people and they'd never have to see them again.
Yeah, that's one of the things too that I've experienced with the fact that I no longer have any nightmares or sleep apnea or sleep paralysis. Once I realized that I could fully be in control, like once I really started really taking hold of my lucid dreaming experience instead of just letting it happen and being more of I make the distinction between being a lucid dreamer and a super lucid dreamer. And lucid dreamers are those who know they're dreaming, but they tend to just allow the experience to play out with very little manipulation at all. Whereas a super lucid dreamer is someone like me who just gets in there, realizes it, and if I do um, resolve to be more passive in the dreams, it's out of choice and not because I don't think I can do anything. I'm fully aware that I'm a god of my own internal experiences as a dreamer, and therefore I do whatever I want. Oh, it is. Oh, and is there a menu or something I can get? Okay, thank you very much.
The lucid dreaming, it brings me
Yeah.
to the that we live inside a world of our own make believe, whether it's in the physical or in the dream realm, which I feel like is a spiritual realm because we often run across these nightmarish creatures or the curses manifest in the dream. And once we bring them into our mind and into our mind's eye and our own reality, that's when we start to see physical things start to manifest. But it always starts
Right.
in the dark, the spooky, scary.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I don't need. Just give me a few minutes. I'll let you know. Thank you so much. So now we're ready for chapter 3. Remember, there's only 5 chapters in here, and as you can tell, they're pretty short. I did this on purpose because I'm also following a lot of the marketing and writing tricks that I've been doing all this training on. And
That's
this is chapter 3,
all right. Let's hear it.
breaking the curse. Even though, like for example, in order to be able to publish paperbacks, Amazon requires you to have books that are at least 72 pages. Most of my books are only around 30 to 40 pages, um, which is good because they're all digital assets. However, I want people to know too that if they actually wanted paperback copies or the ability to print out their own copies of the paperback, you could send me a screenshot that you purchased a book, or even read through it through Amazon Unlimited, which is, or Kindle, whatever that thing is called, and I can send you a PDF file for it. That's how I printed out my books when I was in China, the ones that I wrote. But they are sometimes if you feel like it. A lot of people like to look at them purely on their readers, but some people like to have physical copies. And those are nice. Okay, so this is chapter 3, breaking the curse. And again, you can go to worldreadingclub.com and you can get into a portal there where you can find the books that I have published so far. Right, so identifying cursed tarot deck. Right. So when it comes to working with tarot decks, it is important to understand that not all decks are created equal. Some decks may carry a curse that can bring negative energy into your life. In this subchapter, we will discuss how to identify cursed tarot decks and the signs to look out for. One of the first signs that a tarot deck may be cursed is a feeling of heaviness or unease when handling the cards. If you find yourself feeling anxious or unsettled when working with a particular deck, it may be a sign that the curse or that the deck is cursed. Trust your intuition and pay attention to any negative feelings that arise. Another sign of a cursed tarot deck is a is a series of unfortunate events that may occur after using the cards. If you notice a pattern of bad luck or negative experiences following a tarot reading, it is possible that the deck is carrying a curse. Keep a journal of your readings and any events that occur afterwards to help identify any correlation. In addition to personal experiences, there are physical signs that a tarot deck may be cursed. Look out for signs of wear and tear on the cards, such as creases, tears, or discoloration. These physical manifestations may indicate that the deck has been used for negative purposes and is carrying a curse. It is important to remember that not all tarot decks are cursed, and it is possible to cleanse and protect yourself from any negative energy that may be attached to a deck. If you suspect that a tarot deck is cursed, take steps to cleanse the cards and your space before using them again. Trust your instincts and be mindful of the energy that you invite into your life through your tarot practice. By being aware of the signs of a cursed tarot deck, you can protect yourself and continue to work with the cards in a positive and empowering way.
Clear, very, very
What's up?
clear. The
Very
way
clear. Yeah.
it's very clear because I've always been told that each deck carries a spirit with it, but not all of them are cursed. Not all of them come from bad people. The way each one speaks a different language too. Like you have one that you can ask a specific question when you want encouragement. Don't ask another deck that you know. Like one of my first decks was the Modern War Tarot, and that was all love, light, and positivity, and all of this brand new. And then I got the movie tarot, and it would slap you in the back of the head like you know better. Stop that.
Mm. Wow.
I have a pocket version that's just like, what do you want? Get clear and concise. So you have to learn to work with the energy. And not all energies are conducive. Because I'm one of those people, I will go through an antique shop and find a deck of playing cards and keep them just to have them, but I don't often open them because they've been played. They have a lot of energy on them. It's something to keep.
All right. Thank you for that. And also, wondering, Fool, I'm also wanting to point out too that I don't know if you can see it, but a lot of these things, if people are listening to this, what I'm doing is pulling I'm pulling back the veil on a lot of common themes that are in not only basically most of the fiction books and movies about curses and horror movies and all that stuff like that. These are basically typical feelings and things that happen to people when they're experiencing these so-called hauntings and things like that. There's nothing new that I'm putting here. It's just in the way that I'm organizing it and the fact that I made it in order to be a companion for a movie. And it's also combining it with, a little bit of responsible psychology and a lot of basic stuff. And I really feel like this is going to be a good companion for that movie. I don't think, and I'm going to do my best to make it, to take advantage of and do as much of my marketing with this as I can by embedding videos from YouTube and other official channels of the previews of the movie with links to my book and description from it in as many different ways as possible. It's going to be a fun little thing to play with.
It's going to be a lucrative thing to play with too, because you're basically taking all of the concepts that they put in every movie. All of these archetypes exist in each movie. There's always a warning, there's always this spooky element to it, there's always this human element to it. And what you're doing is describing each piece and giving the preface, the story, and the future of this whole piece. And it's like it can be a guide to any type of movie because what you were saying, you told me when we said cursed object, you can just insert whatever cursed object in.
Sure, thanks.
It transcends all genres. It's in every one.
Yeah,
So it's like
exactly.
the declassified survival guide for these situations.
And now I'm feeling another form of inspiration where I want to also make a call to anybody who's listening and to you that if you see any interesting any movies that are going to be coming out that you kind of want the veil pulled back on, I would love to do companions like this for them because it would be fun, like uh, for especially because I feel like the horror genre is they're trying to make a comeback with that and and they're using all this kind of stuff and with Annabelle and all the demon stuff. Thank you very much. Oh no, I like it black. Thank you. Um,
You
is
say I like it black.
um yeah. So I'm going to be doing that for different movies. Let's see. Talk to me with the curse. Oh, talk to me with the curse hand. I think I've seen that with the curse hand. That's what Clarity Concierge just sent me. All right, so let's see what you think about the next sub chapter here in chapter 3. So the second subchapter in chapter 3 is methods for removing the curve. Okay, ready
Mm-hmm.
for that? All
Let's
right, here
go.
we go. So, methods for removing the curves. In the world of occult research, the concept of cursed tarot cards is a fascinating and chilling topic of study. Hold on. I think I got to look at I just got an alert from my car. Um, let me see if I can extend this. So let me. Hmm. Uh, wow, that's right. I forgot that's a 3 hour parking there. I wonder if I can move it to. All right, everybody. You're going to go on a quick journey with me of moving my car to hopefully to another pay by phone parking zone because I've been here for 3 hours and that was one of the time limits. But I do want to finish. I actually need to finish this before I go on. So before I do anything else. So walking outside and we're going to see if I can find another spot because I didn't come down here to Miami to get fucking parking tickets
Well, me, while you're doing that,
and fines. Yeah,
while you're doing that, I'm thinking about how incomprehensive guides for these different entities, situations, and movies, it comes in handy to have that dry sense of humor because if you're not afraid of death and you're not afraid to laugh, you can really give some really hard information to people and make it in a way that they don't feel the anxiety. It can ease the anxiety in these situations. Because what if somebody runs across a cursed deck of cards? There are a lot of people that leave energy on things if they weren't necessarily using the right hand path of magic or black magic or, any of those things. And what I've learned a lot about when it comes to talking to the spiritual side, a lot of times the demons that we think are so scary are humans that weren't necessarily upright in life. They don't have the power of principality. We give them the power of principality by believing in their fear tactics.
right.
And if
Man, you're spot on that. That's something right there. Yeah.
because it's like I've come across items that I've found or people have given me, and they come with interesting energies. Because I don't call them evil. A lot of times they're like little impish, aggravating, trying to tell their story really quickly type of energies. And if you can figure out the name, and a lot of people put power in a name. If you can figure out the characteristics is something that I've just recently figured out. If you can figure out the characteristics and what to call them to get them to go away, they disappear.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things about the movie The Nun, and why I wrote the book about the demon Volak, because, or as they call it there, Valak, Valak, whereas the book, The Demon Tarot by Ariana Osborne, and from the Infernal Dictionary, it's called Volak, Volac, is because one of the things about exorcists is that when they know the name of the demon or entity they're dealing with, that's one of the ways that you can expel it. You have to know the name of it. And I go even further is that sometimes if you don't know the name of something, you can make up a name and give it a label. Giving it a label is, and this just came to my head as I was saying this, is sort of like the ghost trap that Ghostbusters use. By giving something a label, you're literally creating like a metaphysical or supernatural box to put it in. Like you're creating that by a name. It's a spell. And by giving something a name, if you don't know what it is, you can actually trap it by giving it a name and using that to trap and expel it, even if just temporarily until you find something better. But that's one of the ways of being able to trap and get rid of these entities is by either discovering its name, getting it to tell you its name, or making one up for it as a last resort.
And it works because one of the things that I've heard since I was a kid was spelling is a spell. And I
Yes.
write in ink. Anything you can put in ink, you spell it into existence. Like, I've had scenarios where I have literally written a character in ink and they came to life as a person. And it happened on the new at well, Wisdom, back when it was Wisdom. I ended up I used to make a joke about this alternate universe where I had an agent that would listen to my phone calls, and we named him McCready. Why did I end up having a full on debate on this app with somebody with a name that I created? I manifested this into existence. I almost wanted to ask him what his wife's name was, because he did mention he was married and he had kids. But if I had have asked him to give me his wife's name and what she did, I probably would have fainted. But we manifest the characters that we write into real life. So we have to be careful in the names that we call ourselves too. It's almost as if
Yes,
we build our own traps to pull in the parts of consciousness that we need at the moment.
exactly. Very, very true. Very true. Man, these people are loving this freaking place around here because even in the back parking lot around. By the way, I'm at this place called Books and Books in in Miami, and it's the one of the best bookstore I've been to. Sorry, Barnes and Nobles, but it totally beats you out in atmosphere, environment, location. Uh, it's a small chain. It's like a family owned business that has a few different locations only in Miami, so you'll only find it down here. It's a very charming place. It's lovely in the neighborhood that I am right now. It's high end, upscale type of place. Um, but I just feel kind of at home here. And there is a Barnes and Nobles not too far down the street, but I, I wasn't in a Barnes and Noble mood today.
Mhm.
When I woke up this morning at 9 o'clock or whenever, or actually it was actually 6 o'clock this morning I got up. I can't believe it. Yesterday was 9 o'clock. This is the first place I thought about. I just put in Books and Books to get to here. And this is the only one that I've been to so far, even though there are other locations. But I just, you know, I got to give this one a feel out a few times before I move on to any other locations, and then I'll be exploring those. But hopefully, in the next 5 minutes, I'll get a parking space and then be able to finish my exploration of this. I want to
Now,
finish this. I've only got two more chapters, two more short chapters to go through, and we're on the second subchapter of the third chapter in the book. And I want to get it done so that I can get the publication process started with the manuscript and work out all the bugs. Because I realized that there were some bugs in the other books. Nothing, no big deal. It doesn't cause any problems with reading or anything like that. It's just that I realized that I wasn't reformatting and realigning the page numbers when I was adding pages and content to it. So those might be a little bit off for like the first few books. But I don't know if people are really paying attention to that when they're looking at it. But I fixed it on the last book, and I can eventually republish the the manuscript to the sites a little bit later. But right now, I'm not concerned about that. Um, that's all part of my self-publishing experience. So we
well,
shall see.
it's gonna be great because I read the book and I didn't notice it.
Which one are you talking about?
The first one that you said you
Um,
formatting issues with.
you mean what was the title you're talking about? I can't remember. I have 10 of them on there. Remember?
Yeah, the UniquilibriuM's demonology.
Oh, okay, got it. Yes, yes, yes. Um, yeah, there weren't issues with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the title that I just gave to the book. It's basically all I basically did was write about demonology and then call it Uniquilibriums. You know, um, because as, as well as making this series, I'm also branding. Look at this. I came right around the corner, found a parking space. So, ladies and gentlemen, We are about to get
And
back into,
Johnny,
and
I'm
you're
just
more than welcome to come back out. Let me just look at what this number is here and how much time they're going to give me. So this is City of Coral Gables Municipal Parking, 24 hours, 7 days, metered parking lot. And this is 11270 on the pay by phone. Okay, awesome. Maybe I should
okay.
have parked up there in the first place. All right.
Don't mind me. I'm getting ready for work.
All right. And let's see. So 11270, right? Start parking. All right. So I'm going to at least put an hour on here for a second and then go from there. Huh. $1 more than in that front street parking? That's ridiculous, but okay. See what kind of game y'all want to play here. I'm glad that I can do this all um, remotely, though, which is nice.
It is because I can sit here and get ready for work while you read me this excellent story and synopsis.
Yeah, and I think that so far, because I'm looking at the writing, I think that in the other edits and previews that I've done, I've gotten rid of all of the any issues that might be in the text or anything like that. So um, I think that after I finish doing this preview, I'll be ready to go. Like there won't be any issues in publishing this one. I'm pretty sure that within, at least by tomorrow morning, this book will be available on Amazon. All right, so now I'm back in here and I'm going to be ready to go. Okay, so now I got until 2:21. Okay, folks, now we get to get back into this text. Wandering Pool is getting ready for work. I have some kind of excellent food substance in front of me. All right, so let us do this. Right, so I was into the uh, my mouse starts working here. All right, so methods for removing the curve. Right. All right. So let's look at methods for removing the curve. In the world of occult research, the concept of cursed tarot cards is a fascinating and chilling topic of study. For those who delve into the realm of haunted tarot cards, the potential dangers of encountering a curse are of utmost concern. In this subchapter, we will explore various methods for removing the curse that haunts the cards, offering guidance to those who find themselves in possession of such a mysterious and potentially harmful artifact. One of the most commonly recommended methods for removing a curse from tarot cards is through the use of purification rituals. These rituals often involve the burning of cleansing herbs such as sage or cedar, as well as the recitation of prayers or incantations to banish negative energies. By purifying the cards in this way, practitioners believe they can effectively remove any curse that may be attached to them, restoring their purity and preventing further harm to those who use them. Another method for removing a curse from tarot cards is through the practice of energy cleansing. This involves using various tools and techniques such as crystals, sound vibrations, or visualization exercises to clear the cards of any negative energy that may be lingering within them. By infusing the cards with positive energy and intention, practitioners believe they can neutralize the curse and restore balance to the cards, allowing them to be used safely once again. For those who prefer a more hands-on approach, Physical cleansing methods can also be effective in removing a curse from tarot cards. This may involve washing the cards in a solution of salt water, burying them in the earth for a period of time, or exposing them to sunlight or moonlight to recharge their energies. By physically cleansing the cards in this way, practitioners believe they can remove any lingering curse and restore the cards to their original state of purity. In some cases, it may be necessary to seek the assistance of a professional occult practitioner or spiritual healer to remove a curse from the tarot cards. These individuals have the knowledge and experience to effectively cleanse the cards and protect the user from any potential harm. Consulting with a knowledgeable and reputable practitioner, individuals can ensure that the curse is properly removed and that they can safely resume using their tarot cards without fear of negative consequences. In conclusion, the curses, or the curse that haunts tarot cards, is a powerful and potentially dangerous force that should not be taken lightly. By employing the methods outlined in this subchapter, practitioners can effectively remove curses from their tarot cards and protect themselves from any harm that may come from their use. With proper care and attention, haunted tarot cards can be cleansed and restored to their original state of purity, allowing users to safely harness their power for divination and spiritual exploration. And now we're moving on to the third subchapter in chapter 3, which is protection against future curses. And I'm going to say hello again to people in the room who have stopped by, bounced through, or are sitting a spell. Kristen Brown, hello again. Andrea Bejarno Robinson, Elisa Kirby or Jalissa Kirby, Emma Barrett, Douglas Gall or Galley, Crisp, Sue Newsom, Martha Barsha, hello. Megan Bostick, Brian Hurlbert, Olga Ramirez, Monica Wayman, Terry, Brother P, Kelly Ledyard. Huh, Kelly Ledyard. How do I know that name, Ledyard? Whose name is? Huh. You related to somebody here? I know the name. It's not a very common one I see. Lois Hampson, the Clarity Concierge. Hello once again. Cody Coyle, author Dwight Thompson, Alexander Campbell, Vivian Carr. Hello. Tammy Hughes, Doobie, Heather Lovar, Wandering Fool, and June E. Um, what's going on here is this is one of the working potential titles for my next book. It's called Tower of the Damned, The Curse That Haunts the Cards. I'm making it as an unofficial companion to a movie that's going to be coming out on May 2nd called Tarot, in which cursed cards are somehow coming to life and doing screwed up things to the people in the movie. And I want to get this out because it's, it's like more than a week. How many days we have in this month? Yeah, so a little bit more than a week before the movie comes out. So I want to get this out there and start pushing it as a companion to that movie, an unofficial one. Right? Okay, so continuing, protection against future curses. This is subchapter 3 in chapter 3. All of the chapters here have 3 subchapters. As occult researchers delve into the mysterious world of haunted tarot cards, they must be aware of the potential dangers that come with using these cursed decks. The curse that haunts the cards is a real threat to those who dare to tap into the supernatural powers of these cards, and it is essential to take precautions to protect oneself from future curses. One of the most effective ways to protect against future curses is to cleanse and consecrate the tarot cards before each use. This ritual can help remove any negative energy or malevolent spirits that may be attached to the deck. By purifying the cards with sacred herbs, crystals, or incense, practitioners can create a barrier of protection against any curses that may try to infiltrate their readings. Another important aspect of protecting against future curses is to set strong intentions before using the tarot cards. By focusing on positive energy and affirming that only benevolent spirits are welcome to communicate through the cards, practitioners can ward off any malicious entities that may be lurking in the shadows. This proactive approach can help create a safe and sacred space for conducting tarot readings without fear of curses. In addition to cleansing and setting intentions, it is also advisable for occult researchers to establish boundaries with the haunted tarot cards. This means being mindful of how often the cards are used, as well as who is allowed to handle them. By limiting access to the cursed deck and treating it with respect, practitioners can prevent any negative influences from affecting their readings or their lives. Ultimately, protection against future curses requires a combination of spiritual practices, intention setting, and respect for the supernatural forces at play. By taking these precautions seriously and approaching the haunted cards with caution and reverence, occult researchers can navigate the treacherous waters of the curse that haunts the cards with confidence and peace of mind. So now, because of some of the time limits that I have on being able to download and repurpose these talks here on Noon Vibe for on my Spreaker podcast, I'm going to end this here for now and come back in a few moments after I take some bites of my sandwich and sips of my Americano to go into chapters 4 and 5, each having 3 subchapters of their own. So that's 6 more subchapters that we'll be getting into in just a few moments here. And I think I'm going to put that title as it's going to be Tarot. Yeah, it'll be Tarot movie. And I'll just keep the subchapter here, the curse that haunts the cards. Yeah, that'll be fun. All right, and I'll be back in a few moments. Thanks again for listening and or passing through. Everyone, I'll be back in just a few moments with Tarot movie, the curse that haunts the cards.